Hello, good morning, good evening, and good day. Today I'll be doing a persuasive speech for you. Hello, my name is Manuel Jennings. Today I'll be doing a persuasive speech for you to listen on a certain policy. Today I'll be going over should prisoners or inmates have the right to vote during an election, how and which prisoners should be allowed to vote, what kind of election can a prisoner vote for. Can they vote for the president, or are they only allowed to vote for the Senate or the House, or even lower for just a city governor? Can the people in government that are running make sure the elections won't be cheated with these new votes? And can it be even passed or allowed? And how many years can they plan in for the program to get their voter registration? What are the legal pages and documents to show to try and prove that these men can be trusted to vote and use their vote correctly? Also, during this, will it be allowed for each prisoner to vote to be worth the popular vote or just for the state? And what will be the cost of thousands of inmates voting for one president-elect? How should we treat each vote from a prisoner or inmate, post-prison or in prison? Can we trust that the system will use these votes for the right choice and correctly? Or should we just deny it to those that are in prison on a life sentence or 10, 20-year sentence and more? Will race become a big factor during the voting, and how will fights be stopped in prison or outside prison? And can the jail become an issue on racial remarks because of voting for someone of a different color and race, like an Asian, Latino, white, black, or running to be a president? How will each Democratic and Republican TV programs be shown in each prison sections and played, not to start up a riot? And will a free man get a permanent ID as a registered voter and not have a prison voting ID when he leaves prison or be labeled? Will it be right for someone to say an offensive word to a former inmate while voting? What are my thoughts on this issue and topic and policy? My thoughts on this issue and policy and what we can do for those that want to vote when leaving or coming into a prison. We'll see the Senate voting and what the popular vote and the final vote will be for those in prison and wanting to vote, and are waiting for those in the government to pass this law or policy. Bernie Sanders has been a big push for inmates to have a vote. An article I read with him of saying in a speech, I think that Bernie Sanders said, "I think the right to vote is inherent to our democracy. Yes, even for the terrible people, because once you start chipping away, you're sending down a slippery slope," Sanders said. And that's what side is mostly everyone is on or is supporting for. To see which topic and ideas these votes might bring on during an election, firstly, I will ask if you are okay and comfortable for another person in prison or after prison to have the right to vote. And what does their vote mean to you? There is enough discrimination against us, and feeling alienated leads to a revolt. I served my sentence, I paid my debt to society. Why am I still doing time? By Perry Hopkins, a former convicted felon and current community organizer for Communities United, talking about voting rights in Maryland and how hard it is for a former inmate to get the chance to vote. Do we know and understand what a convict felon goes through when going up to vote or even trying to vote, but only trying to go vote and might be harassed or be called a certain name? Goes to show that people make mistakes for having or trying to have a decent life, post-prison or after. and we can't be too understanding of one side and not the other on convicts having the right to vote, and what other parties trying to not vote and get these talks down and show up the other side and try not to pass this policy for those that are in prison and trying to vote. My side is that if you feel right to speak up and want to participate in an important matter, then an inmate should sign up and be on track till election day to vote. When I say on track, just to be on good behavior throughout the process of trying to get your voter ID. Also, on the other side is to not have inmates vote, is to the degree on what they did, how many years they have on 10 to 20 years or on a death sentence for a murder or worse. Then that type of prisoner sentence should not have the right to vote or even be allowed to even have the process to get their voter ID. Just to waste an important vote for another running candidate in an election, just to mess up the election or ruin a good vote that someone else in prison can have. My conclusion is, should prisoners have the right to vote and the policy they should use to get them to vote, and why was this persuasive speech topic I choose to talk about today, and why it should become and why it should become a major topic every year, from Democrats pushing it for prisoners have the right to vote. Why it should bring more light that everyone has a chance to change when they're leaving prison and become a better person for society. Why do I think more countries should help each other become a better and safer world? And that I choose to believe that more states can help inmates get back on track to vote. And why I chose this persuasive topic is that I thought it was a great idea and policy that other people should see and look up and see what if their family member that's in prison that wants to vote can have the chance. Once more, thank you very much for listening and watching.